So that, in a sense, was the beginning of me appreciating the city in a way that I maybe didn't before because I was living there for so long.
Yeah, most definitely, man. So I want to get more into your creative process right now. So, what is your creative process when making music?
When making music, a lot of my creative process comes from nowadays an idea, literally just an idea that transcends to a voice memo. And then from then I leave it alone until I'm actually ready to record, and then I let it blossom. And then I revisit that voice memo and let it blossom. Sometimes if I get an idea off a beat, then I go and I just record that right away if I can. If not, then I save it to as much as a voice memo. I don't try to save it like in terms of words and lyrics and writing it down, because I feel like writing that down doesn't capture that same energy. So a voice note of maybe 2 to 4 lines can give you that same energy and inspiration for a track than writing out a whole track can. Yeah, because writing out a whole track is too measured.
Yeah, no, most definitely, man. And I know, usually, in the studio too, some people would would need to be lit, either by getting high or by drinking a lot of licks and all that.
I've tried that. A lot of times I make a track, I'm either sober or at max. At max I smoke. Yeah, but I don't get fucked up before making a song, it won't get made. Yeah, to get lit before a song, that shit won't get made. And if it does get made, it'll probably sound like trash. It'll sound like trash.
Most definitely. Do you feel in that sense too, even being in that element, being lit, would help musically in that sense, not just for you but for other people in that sense too? Or do you feel people's processes when being in the booth or when writing a song, it's different depending on the lifestyle and all that?
Things depending on the lifestyle in person. Yeah, are you asking if it's necessary?
Do you feel you might have better content? What I meant is do you feel you might get better content even being in a lit element rather than just being 100% sober and
it better or not better, I think is up to, I don't even know who it's up to, whether you or the people. But if I could use a good example, it's Cuddy. So Cuddy was making the best shit of his life when he was lit, when he was fucked up the most. But I also think that creates the division between a fan and a supporter. So a fan will be there for the littest moments. You know what I mean? They're, oh my God, I'm a super fan. When Cuddy's lit, you know what I mean? He's being carried in the back of his Escalade by a security and his legs are dangling in the air and all you have a memory of is 2 J's, his Jordans just dangling in the air, you know what I mean? That's when Cuddy was amazing. But as a supporter, like myself, I care about Cuddy more as an individual. So the point where he's at now, I don't feel like his music is what it used to be, but I care more about him than as a human being. And the fact that he has a daughter and these things, right? So bringing it back to having it be lit and your littest moment to create the littest tracks, it's yeah, some artists might need that, but it's temporary. It's super temporary, you know what I mean? It leads to one thing or the other, and we all know where that goes. Depending on what your substance is, it's super temporary. And if you want to create a career where it's relying on that, cool. I mean, you might need to be that guy who does that all the time, but
because I think when he made Speeding Bullet to Heaven and all that, he was still lit at that time too. But then that was actually one of the worst projects he actually released
based on critics. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, there's not a lot of songs I feel on that. Adventure is the song I feel the most. I still play that back to back. Adventure is an amazing song. Speeding Bullet to Heaven, I couldn't take the whole project in, but Adventures,
And so right now we're gonna get back onto more of the music stuff right now. So you have your new EP out right now, Before You Ask Why.
Available for download, streaming, all platforms. Before You Ask Why.
That's definitely, man. So when making that specific project, what was the creative process for that EP, and what inspired you to make it in that sense?
So the creative process for this was, I have this issue where I shelve a lot of tracks. And going into this one, I wanted to find out what was the median in between making all these songs, but also not letting time pass enough to where I don't put it out. And that's my biggest problem. I let too much time go by, and then I don't want to put out those songs because they don't encompass the period of which I'm living in my life right now. It just doesn't match up. So I thought about it, and knowing that was my problem, this time around I was like, yo, I'm gonna make these songs. I'm not gonna rush them to put them out, but I also gotta move with a sense of urgency, regardless of what's going on, what's happening, whatever. So I worked on, I think it was about like, there's a few songs. I chose these 3 out of maybe like 20 songs, and I decided I'm gonna put these out because these 3 encompass a period which I can still relate to, and it's still very relevant. So I decided to put these out and then live out that situation.
Yeah, most definitely. Like there was like this iconic line in like one of the songs too, like how you were born in like my era, or like how you were even how you're not even from the hood, or how you're from the not hood and like not know what like.
So what I said was how the fuck you come from where I'm from and don't know Billie Jean? Yeah. How the fuck you come from where I'm from and That was that whole that was the whole that Michael Jackson reference. Like how do you come from where I'm from and not have these same influences and ambitions and you know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people who either came from where I came from or came from even tougher situations and just don't have this drive to wanna grab something, move something, change something, shift something, draw something, paint something. There's just no ambition to pick up anything and do anything based on anything at all. So those 2 lines were like, how the fuck you come from where I'm from and don't know things like Billie Jean? Like, how the fuck you come from where I'm from and like don't got any dreams? Like, how is that even possible? Like, yeah.
It's like, you know, like even with the project altogether, you know, like it talks a lot about like, you know, just questioning like certain people's like motives and actions and all that, and like also like looking into your own mindset, like on like this is like what I want to do, like this is like how I want to see it, like in that sense.
As much as I'm questioning other people, those questions are for me too. Like,
definitely, man. And like even from like that EP, which is like I think your first official EP that you released, to like from that all the way before until like when you made your first song and like performing at Blues Fest. Did you ever felt that you've grown as an artist from that time you performed at Blues Fest to the EP until now in that sense?
100%, a lot. I've grown a lot as an artist. Like that's hard to figure out where to start. I've grown a lot as an artist. Like especially my creative process, how I even see my growth now and where I want to be. I've grown a lot as an artist. Yeah, a lot of that naive, I guess, mentality I have is gone, but there's still this sense of, I guess, naive that you got to keep it fresh and keep it new.
Yeah. You know, like one iconic thing that I've actually noticed is that you always like wear like side mask and all that, like, you know, more of a face mask, but like not covering like the full on areas.
Not the full on, no, because this is, you know what it is? A lot of people wear a balaclava to cover their face like fully like this to, you know, do whatever they got to do. But for me, this is more of, it's the parallel between art and war. So balaclavas have been in history since First World War, Second World War. They also, balaclavas, if people don't know, are extension of like the chainmail and everything like that. The thing is with art and war and even design and fashion is we carry these from street culture. Balaclavas come from street culture. Balaclavas were made before street culture. So if you're wearing one of these, it's literally to protect your face from cold, anything. So the parallel between the art and war is, can you create this art without being at war with something? And I feel like people rocking this is in war, in war times, whether it was World War I, World War II, even before then, they were fighting with these during war, but they were wearing it at home for fashion, which is what we're doing now, but it's been a thing, where this is rocked during war to fight, but it's being rocked at home for fashion.